Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. I am Delaney from VENDO. I am our VP of Account Strategy across our Amazon and TikTok shop business here, and I will be your host for today's webinar. We are very excited to be chatting all things marketplace affiliate marketing with our partners at Helium 10. So before I dive into our topics for today, I will turn it over to my lovely guests today to introduce themselves. I will start off with you, Shivali.
Hello, everyone. My name is Shivali Patel. I'm a senior brand evangelist at Helium 10, meaning I educate and evangelize all about our tools. If you don't know what Helium 10 is, we are a software suite of tools that helps Amazon sellers, Amazon influencers, people who are interested in expanding out to the TikTok shop market. So if you are on that journey, be it in product research, or maybe you've got an established brand and you're looking to expand out, this is definitely the place for you to be, as well as if you are an Amazon consumer. So say that you purchase products on Amazon, which I think pretty much everybody does, or if you have kids that, have products that they like on Amazon, literally anybody will find value in today's webinar because there's something for everybody.
Amazing. Totally agree. And Jackie, I'll turn it over to you.
Hi, I'm Jackie Carlton. I am the Creator Marketing Manager here at VENDO. So I help lead our UGC, influencer, and affiliate programs. So excited to kick things off today.
Absolutely. And here at VENDO, we scale brands across Amazon, TikTok Shop, and Walmart using data-backed insights. So today we're specifically going to be chatting through affiliate marketing, influencer partnerships, and how we drive strategic growth for our brands across both Amazon and TikTok Shop specifically. But let's go ahead and dive in. Before we go and discuss our topics in depth, I do just want to lay the groundwork for what is affiliate marketing and how can it serve your brand. So let's take a step back and discuss this massive opportunity that I'm sure so many of you have heard about. And whether you're just at the beginning of your affiliate marketing journey, or maybe you are a seasoned expert here, I know, as Shivali said, that this webinar will bring value to you. So affiliate marketing specifically is about partnering with content creators, whether that's bloggers, deal sites, social media influencers, to help drive sales and conversions for your brand. So instead of just paying for reach and impressions, you are paying for performance. You are paying for actual conversions that deliver real-time results. So what's so exciting about affiliate marketing is that it does scale quickly and it requires a bit less of an upfront investment compared to traditional advertising. And by tapping into this network of affiliates, your brand can reach audiences that you might otherwise miss. But I know Jackie is going to expand on that a little bit more. So Jackie, I will turn it over to you to chat through the differences between affiliate marketing and influencer marketing for our audience here.
Yeah, that's a great question. And we see that question come up quite a bit. So as you mentioned, when we're working with affiliates, it's a commission-based model. Once they sell a product, they'll get, let's just say 10, 15% of the sale versus influencer marketing. The creators are going to be paid upfront, and it's more of a brand awareness, storytelling type of play. And here at VENDO, part of my role is to scale and grow our Amazon affiliate programs. And there's different types of creators that we work with. So we have Amazon Associates, and Amazon Associates, we're working with Amazon's network of close to 1 million different creators in their program. So Amazon Associates, they're a mix of different kinds of content creators. They can be bloggers, publishers. It's really anyone that has a site that they're going to be sharing their link to the product on that website. So once they sign up, they'll get a tracking ID that they can use to link to post on their channels. So again, these can be content review sites, deal and coupon types of pages, loyalty, reward pages, and also really just anyone who has a website. You and I, or if we have our own blog, we can sign up, and then we can become an Amazon associate. Amazon influencers. So they're an extension of this Amazon Associates program. However, they do need to qualify. And in doing so, these are more of the typical types of influencers that we kind of all know. They have a wide social media influence, they're constantly posting across Instagram, TikTok, maybe they're a YouTuber. They really have a established social media presence. And so when you sign up to become an Amazon influencer, you'll get access to your own Amazon URL or storefront. So you'll have your own page where you can curate it however you want. Maybe you're a beauty influencer, so you really want to focus on beauty products, luxury, skincare products. And so when they're sharing their links to different products that they want to promote, they're really going to be driving their audience back to their Amazon storefront. And here they're also able to create shoppable videos. So if you go onto Amazon, you're looking at a product and on the side, there's all these videos that are popping up. That's probably an influencer who is talking about the product. Maybe they're talking about their favorite the ingredients of the beauty product or what they like. And then once they post it onto their storefront, then they have the capability to get picked up by Amazon's algorithm. And then those videos will populate across the different placements on Amazon. They can also create Amazon lists. So for example, we have Prime Big Deals Day coming up. So I'm sure a lot of Amazon influencers are curating their list of what should we be purchasing for those 2 days? What's going to be very heavily discounted or on promotion? And then they'll be able to share that to their audience. So lots of different types of ways that they can promote and share the different types of products.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jackie, for that insight. Now, something that has been game changing for our affiliate marketing business is, of course, our partnership with Helium 10 and their innovation specifically around TikTok and Amazon specific affiliate marketing tools. So I'd love to turn it over to you, Shivali, and just walk us through some of what Helium 10 has innovated on, specifically the influencer finder, and then we could take a step back and review some of the other tools as well.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. Let's kind of start with, as you said, the seller side of things, and then we'll also jump into how you can maybe get some money back on those purchases that you've already made on Amazon. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen here. Let's make sure you guys can see the full layout. You guys can see everything?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay. So I'm currently inside of my Helium 10 account. So when I go into the product section, you'll find that you have two views. You have your classic and your solutions. So if you see that it looks like this and you're like, my screen doesn't look like hers, just toggle into classic and go into the influencer finder right here underneath marketing. Okay. Once you do that, you're going to be on the Amazon workspace if that is where you're trying to expand and find influencers for the time being. We'll cover TikTok later. What you can do is go in and do ASINs, product title, name, or you can just input categories as well. Okay, so if you have a specific kind of product and not necessarily a focus on your competitors, you can go in and say, hey, I'm looking for influencers who have reviewed saunas. Maybe that's their thing. Obviously, saunas is a more expensive purchase, so you might also be looking for something that makes a little bit more sense from a competitor standpoint. Somebody might not be buying 16 saunas, but they might buy 16 different foundations or like 16 different shelves for their housing if they're really into interior design, right? So think about it from your category perspective and do what makes sense. If it makes sense for you to go in and say, hey, actually, when I'm inside of Amazon, I have this competitor. Let's say I am selling saunas. I've just been on this sauna rampage because I've been looking for one. But when you're going in and let's say you find that one of your competitors is doing awesome revenue and that is something that you want to duplicate, maybe I'm already doing 4,000, but they're doing 10K or something like that. You might be interested in, well, they have quite a few influencer videos, which this one doesn't necessarily. It has 5 videos, it looks like. But if you wanted to go in and figure out who was influencing for them, and then maybe send them one of your products because they already have an audience that's interested in that, or say that they have great videos that do list in the top carousel and are converting for them, then what you could do is input in that ASIN right here. So maybe I want to go in and say, I want to copy this ASIN and paste it Then what I'd be able to do is just click search and see if there's anybody that's actually influencing. Now we saw that there was 0 videos for the actual influencer side of things, which is why we're seeing that, but maybe we can find here a better example. Let's see, this one has 5. Maybe we can, and we are doing this live. I think this is a pretty good example of making sure it's live. There you go. So we have 11 different influencers that have popped up that have reviewed this item. Again, make sure it makes sense for your category. Lover of all things non-toxic. So maybe this is somebody that would be awesome if we were selling, a non-toxic, like you're careful about what sort of radiations inside of your sauna, or maybe you're selling supplements, something like that, right? Instead of the competitor ASIN, you could also have just said, hey, actually, I'm selling supplements. So let's go into, is that a category here? See, yeah, there you go. So supplements and vitamins, maybe I'm selling for pet supplies. So I'd be able to select that and then find all the ones that are related inside of that niche. What did I do wrong here? Too specific. Let's go. And that happens sometimes. This pulls from over, thousands and thousands of different influencers, but you want to give yourself some room and then kind of narrow it down from there. This is definitely me. This is not the swear. Okay. Let's go into coffin shelf. Let's type that in here. Now, the reason, if you guys have never looked at Helium 10 things before, right, that is going to be because we sell a coffin shelf, all right? Let's go in and make this way more specific because I seem to be having no luck today. All right, here we go. So here's our very morbid, fun item that we sell. Okay. And while we don't have a bunch of influencers, I know for a fact that we have had influencers promote this product. Okay. So if this was my competition, I could go and say, hey, maybe they'd be interested in doing a video that's a comparison. Like, hey, I bought this in the past, but this is why this product is better, or this is what's different about this product. And those sorts of videos can really convert. So what sort of information you're really going to be seeing here is going to be your influencer product category, which is why I was trying to filter for the product category. But I believe I was going way too specific because these are really niche. Think about a coffin shelf. How many people are really selling coffin shelves or saunas? Because they're really expensive, right? So don't be like me. But if you are in that niche, do what makes sense for your niche. Go in, check out the live stream, check out videos posted, check out the ideas list, and whatever links that these influencers have tagged will show up here. So if they have their email listed, you'd be able to reach out to them directly. For example, here, Doug and Nikki, you can reach out to them via Instagram. So you'd be able to click this, check out their Instagram page, and then reach out that way if you are an Amazon seller who's looking to find some influencers to promote your product for you. So really neat way. You can also, I recommend, what's a really cool way to go about this is finding related products. So not necessarily products that are your competitor products, but say that I was selling the fitness bands that exist. I don't know if you guys have seen them, but if you're going to the gym, you have these little weighted bands. Something that's tangent to that might be protein powders. Now, protein powders get a lot of traffic. So you might have these influencers who are making great money, and they might be open to the opportunity to make money on your product that's quite related. And then they can continue to kind of bundle those items even in other influencer videos, which can be really, really cool. So some filters that you have access to here include your influencer ID. If you wanted to filter for all the influencers that have emails listed, you can do that. Alternatively, you can also filter by influencers whenever they're going on and they're listing something to an Amazon page. So let's just go in and click any one of these. I'm going to click this one right here for now. So for example, at the very top, if I click videos, you would have influencer videos show up here in the top carousel. And then at the very bottom, you'll also have some influencer videos as well sometimes. And so that is what we're referencing as the top and the bottom carousel. You can filter by those and say, hey, these influencers I'm finding, I want them to have at least a few videos that have indexed or are ranking in the top half of that listing page or are on the bottom carousel. And you can filter by that or even by how many videos they've posted. You have your average video length, your average video likes. If you have certain niches that you're interested in, maybe you're looking for a beauty influencer. So you can go in and say, hey, I want to find people with bios that say beauty up in their top bio section. Yeah. as well as exclude. So maybe you are finding influencers that are strictly doing L'Oreal products. You can exclude L'Oreal as a word, and therefore all the influencers that show up will be, a little bit more stringent to your search. You can also do average parent level sales, average ASIN revenue. So really, really cool what you can discover with this. These are filters that you don't have really access to anywhere else outside of Helium 10 from the influencer finder perspective. And so I really encourage you to go check this out.
Absolutely. That's awesome, Shivali. Question for you, because a big question we get from a lot of our brands is, hey, we also want to be targeting some of the higher GMV creators rather than just creators who are going to drive increased traffic to our brand, but it's not going to convert. So what would you recommend for creators specifically that you want to target that you've seen have a strong proof of concept in the past as far as the previous promotions or videos that they've posted?
So what's really interesting is for GMV, I focus a lot on the TikTok side of things, and I know we're gonna navigate over to that in just a moment here, but that's literally one of the filters that we see, and we've seen a halo effect across the board for TikTok and for Amazon. So if you're naturally finding a lot of hype on social media platforms, especially because think about how you are sold to, right? Like what sort of ads do you like? Even if you screen recorded yourself and you're like checking out what people are pausing on, people spend so much time still on the social media platforms. And so if you're going in and you're having other people talk about it on a social media platform as opposed to just a listing page for, say, Amazon influencers varies a little bit from TikTok Shop because now you have the traffic that's going to purchase something, right? That's why we go to Amazon because we know we want to purchase something. We're just kind of scouting around to figure out what that is or which one we're going to buy. So once you get there, you have to convert them from that aspect. That's what your influencers are doing. They're just saying, hey, this is why this product is the one you should purchase over all the other ones. Whereas on the social media platforms, people are not really trying to be sold to or like purchase into something. But that's why when you find the influencers on the TikTok Shop platform, they do give you access to the GMV, how much they've really moved within that space. And then you can take that into account as you're going in and giving products to creators. And then those creators will build content that will naturally drive traffic over to Amazon. Hopefully that answers your question.
Yes, absolutely it does. And that's a great segue to our next point because we do want to differentiate between TikTok Shop and Amazon. I know Shivali just gave us an overview there, but it is really a completely different ballgame. While Amazon's system is more structured, TikTok's is driven more by its algorithm and its creator first culture specifically. So on Amazon, as Jackie alluded to earlier, influencers do have storefronts. And that's why the model is more structured. The affiliates are more clearly defined. There's commission-based relationships that are easier to track, etc. On TikTok specifically, creators are not just pushing links. They're creating this authentic viral content that integrates into product feeds very naturally, right? So you'll see those creators are promoting the products directly in feed. So very much algorithm driven that rewards engagement more than just clicks. So the key to accelerating growth on TikTok Shop is to partner with these nano micro influencers. Think in the range of 10K to 100K followers because these influencers tend to drive stronger engagement, have higher conversion rates compared to some of the larger influencers that might be asking for paper posts or things like that, where they're harder to contact directly on the platform and off-platform outreach might be more important to engage with those higher follower count creators. So, Shivali, I will turn it over to you. Can you tell us a little bit about Helium 10's tools specifically to support TikTok Shop now and how brands can use them to identify the right creators there?
Absolutely. I do want to mention actually on what you said. So it's interesting because as of late, I've also spoken to a lot of sellers who work with even more nano influencers than you mentioned, like even less than
Yeah.
10,000, but they're actually able to generate a lot of volume. And I think the reason for that is the algorithm supposedly is based on your watch time. So even if you are a really small content creator, actually, the followers don't matter as much as we think they do on any other platform. So on any other platform like Instagram or on Amazon, those things can really play a part. But I do want to say that you can be a little bit more flexible if there is some sort of rate they're charging. What's cool about TikTok Shop is you don't have to actually provide a fixed fee rate to influencers. So many sellers I speak to are like, oh my gosh, I don't think I can, shell out even more money. I don't have money in my marketing budget to give to an influencer. You don't have to. That is the great part. You just figure out a commission and say, hey, if I win, you get to win too. You can get some sort of commission based on this. And it can also be a smaller influencer. I always recommend doing a variety of influencers. So some that are maybe on the smaller end, but then also testing out those larger influencers that are 10,000, that are 15, or maybe more than that, depending on if you can get access to them. And that's really where, as Delaney said, the external links can really play a component in your outreach. So
Yeah.
with that being said, let's get into the TikTok shop stuff. So when you're inside of your Helium 10 account, we tried to make it easy for you just to know like all the integrations that you'd have access to. So we have a TikTok little tab up top. You can just click it to see the page I'm looking at now. I'm going to use this to kind of tell you what sort of things you have integrations with, and then we can jump into a little bit more demo style thing. But really, I do think this page does a really good job of explaining all the things that are available to you. Now, if you already have your hands full, maybe an additional piece to this is going to be, I do not have the bandwidth to expand to TikTok shop. Well, let me tell you, it is better than putting all your eggs in one basket, and it is easier than you think. You can literally get the setup as it says here, expand from Amazon to TikTok shop in minutes. Okay. So what Helium 10 can help you do is convert all of your Helium 10 listing, not Helium 10, Amazon listings, right? Take all your Amazon listings, convert them over to TikTok shop within minutes. And so once you have, let's say, actually, let's backtrack a bit and just first ensure that you're going to be profitable, right? So I'm going to go back into my coffin shelf listing. I don't want to click sponsored here. Okay. All right. So what you're going to do is I actually have this set up for influencers because I do want to cover this at some point later on. But let's go back into the seller piece. So you're going to want to have the Helium 10 Chrome extension installed. If you do not already, that's going to be helium10.com/extension. Maybe we can drop that in the chat for folks. But once you have that extension installed, you get a lot of access to on-browser tools. Even the numbers I was looking at before for Amazon influencers, you get to see all that stuff as well. But once you are inside of a product listing page, especially for yourself, because we are talking about TikTok shop, whether it's profitable or not, you're going to want to go in and click profitability calculator. From there, toggle into TikTok shop and play around with your numbers. Okay. You want to overestimate your ROI. Make sure that all your expenses are accounted for. And then does the ROI make sense for you? And if it does, then you'll want to open up a TikTok shop Seller Center account. Okay, that's the equivalent of Seller Central. You're going to ensure you are profitable first. Everybody with me here? Once you do that, you are going to see that there is a section for your affiliate commission rate. You can set that lower if you'd like. Some people set it for 5%, some set it for 10, 15, 20. See what is profitable for you and what might be competitive in your category. Then you have whether you are doing fulfilled by TikTok, if you're doing MCF, which is what we will be interested in if you are already an Amazon seller, or if you have products at your home or you're some sort of 3PL, you can go in and do self-ship as well. As you've clicked MCF, you can then input in your numbers, any sort of duties, tariffs you're expecting, or other costs. And you can check out what your net margin will be. From there, that is when we say, okay, you know what? I know I'm going to be profitable on TikTok shop. Let's do this. So you'll open up the Seller Center account. You'll want to connect your token. So let's just go into my regular dash, click connections in the top right-hand corner. And that is going to take me into this page right here where I'm going to want to connect my seller account as well as my PPC account. Okay. So once you've done that, that is when you're going to really have full access to all the things you can do. So as I said, this is a pretty good rundown on all the things you can accomplish with Helium 10 integrations. So you can confidently estimate potential TikTok profits, as I've shown you, right? For instant profit calculations, factors in TikTok specific commissions and fees, and you can choose between different fulfillment types. You can convert your Amazon listings to TikTok in one click. So you can save hours of copying and pasting by bulk exporting multiple ASINs. Let me show you what I mean by that. When you're in your product section, you're going to go into listing converter underneath listing optimization. And that is going to bring you to a page like this, where you can select your TikTok shop as well as your fulfillment type. If you are selling or going to be fulfilling via FBA or FBM, your product compliance information, and then whether you want to migrate it just for review, if you want just a draft available, or if you actually want to submit and enable it. Okay, then you can select which listings. So if you have a handful of listings like we do, you can bulk select all of them and literally click bulk convert. You would never be able to do that otherwise. I remember when I was getting listed on TikTok Shop for my products, I was thinking, oh man, I've created these listings so long ago. I don't even have any recollection of where I placed all my images, where my bullet points are. I mean, my bullet points are on my listing, but think about how long it would take to manually sift over all of these listings if you have thousands of SKUs, right? And so this is where bulk convert is really useful because you can select if you want it to go over automatically, or if you want to just migrate it, and you can migrate and select all of them, click bulk convert, which will take you into a conversion status. And this is one of our test accounts, but this one listing is ready to submit. Okay, so we've put it into drafts and now we can edit it. We can select the quantity that we want to say is available on TikTok Shop. So we can have thousands available, but only say, hey, I want to give out maybe 30. Maybe these are just for my influencers, or you are opening it up for TikTok Shop where your influencers, as well as folks who are scrolling through TikTok Shop, can also purchase. So you can do things like this. Now, what's the next component of this? Well, when you are on TikTok Shop, the next is fulfillment, right? Like, how do I fulfill? Do I have to go back into Amazon's backend and manually do all my MCF orders? No, you do not. You can consolidate all your operations within Helium 10, not only from a profits perspective and inventory perspective, but also just fulfilling those orders. And so what we can do is actually go into product mapping. So let's go into products, and you will want to go into inventory management. You can go into your order status right here, which is on the left-hand paneling, and click manage products mapping. Now, these are TikTok orders that we have fulfilled. So any sort of TikTok Shop orders that are getting automated once you've mapped out your products, they're all going to be listed here and explain, what is the order? So is the MCF order, has it been shipped out and fulfilled? Is it still processing? And you can see it all in one place right next to each other. Again, you can't get this anywhere else. Click manage products mapping, and then you'd be able to, import any sort of product mapping if you have specific products, and select your Amazon listing as well as your TikTok Shop listing, and connect the two while setting a safety stock. Okay. So once you've set the safety stock, then let's say if something goes viral on TikTok Shop, then you would be able to still make sure that you have your Amazon inventory to retain that momentum that's really important to the platform. From there, it is all about influencers. And so we've already kind of talked about Influencer Finder. You can go in and toggle over to the TikTok Shop workspace, as I mentioned before, and as Delaney's question was previously. How can I find the influencers with a certain amount of GMV? You can select that literally right here and say, I want to find the ones that are really moving volume. Or maybe I don't have enough inventory to care about these higher numbers. Maybe I'm just looking for somebody who's moving 1,000 for me, or is going to move somewhere up to a 10K for me. Then I can select that. I can find how many products that they've promoted. Maybe they've promoted 20 products already. Maybe there's a certain amount of items that they've sold. Maybe you're looking for a certain commission rate. Then you can do all of these little, filters, and then go in and click apply to filter down. Now, we do have over 900,000 TikTok influencers, and that number is always growing. What's really cool about this platform is you can get more filters, that even as I said for Amazon, right? Like, you can't get these filters anywhere else. So if you want to find influencers in bulk and be able to message them, then I have way too many tabs open, as you can tell. But you can go in and select these things and then click apply and find them, and then outreach from there or send out messages. There are content-based metrics here that you can filter by as well. So when there's a creator on the TikTok Shop marketplace, you have two different things that you can make money with, and that's not money with, but like, that really drives volume for you. And that's going to be your shoppable videos and your shoppable lives. So somebody's either going live and saying, hey, check out this product. If you've ever scrolled through TikTok shop, maybe you have those like vibrating plates you've seen, and there's ladies just standing on them all day long for hours, and that's moving volume for them, right? And so maybe you're interested in, well, I want to find a creator that's going to do lives for me. I don't want to get on camera for my own product, but I know somebody out there is willing to do it and I can offer them a commission for it. You can filter for that. You want to find how many views they're getting, or maybe how many shoppable video engagement. So you can have a really small influencer maybe that has 1,000, like me, that's just gotten into the TikTok Shop Creator Program, but maybe they have a really great engagement rate, right? So you can kind of figure out what sort of influencer you're looking at. So a lot of really great stuff you can do here. And as you're finding ones that maybe make sense for you, right? Let's see if we can find a coffin shelf. There we go. So we have, a few folks who are related to this category that have sold something similar. And so you can end up going through and discovering that. Or you can say, hey, I want to find that they have been identified into a certain category, because TikTok Shop does actually identify influencers into categories. Initially, they don't. It's broad, but once they've been marked, it's kind of where all their content resides. You have a certain amount of followers, and then you can select, hey, actually, I'm interested in this influencer. I can check out, because we've already filtered down. We already know that this person does some creepy, like spooky decor style stuff because we typed in coffin shelf. Now we can check out what her content looks like, how often she's posting, what sort of numbers she gets. So some of her stuff will reach into the 6,000s maybe, right? She has a few 6,000s. She has 2,000s, but she's hustling. She has 15.8K followers. Makeup Spooks, honest reviews. And yeah, so some of her stuff doesn't get the best engagement, but she is posting, right? So we can make maybe an educated decision on whether this is somebody we'd want to work with, and we can click invite, or we can save her into a folder for later and then invite her then. But if we click invite, it'll take me into the influencer messaging section where we can now add a product, and we can say, do we want to offer her a free sample or not? And then manually review requests or auto approve them. So meaning, if the influencer responds back, are you going to auto approve it, or are you going to, consider what she said before sending out some sort of invitation? Now you can create invitation details. Let's just select here. Love. Okay. Well, when you click this, your products will get pulled up here. Like I said, this is a test account, so please excuse this when it's not working at the second. But you'll want to add your product and click next. And for create invitation details, you will end up finding a handful of, like you can put in a message, create the invite, and then bulk invite a handful of influencers to it. Okay. Let's clear this out. So obviously you can see our tests. There you go. So we've invited about 11 influencers into this list, right? So that we've created, that we've saved. And then from there, you hopefully have some influencers that are going to be willing to make content for you, and in turn drive some traffic, which will give you that halo effect for your Amazon products as well as for your TikTok shop products. Okay. So the whole thing is mapped out. There's everything from profitability into ensuring that you're converting your listings really fast, into mapping those products to your Amazon listings. That way there's fulfillment happening automatically. There's order status within TikTok shop. That's also pulled in and showed to you right next to your MCF information inside of Helium 10, as I showed you in inventory management, as well as the ability to reach out to influencers. So really a full end-to-end process, and that's what we always work on delivering, is end-to-end for any case scenario, for whether you're selling on Amazon, whether you're selling on, if you're an Amazon influencer, which I know we haven't touched on yet. If you are just an influencer, I think we can get into that in just a couple of minutes here briefly. But as well as if you are expanding out onto TikTok shop too. So that's really, really cool. And I don't know if there's anything more that you want me to cover, Delaney, on that specific topic.
That was amazing, Shivali. There's so much there. I want to touch on a few things. First off, just as far as how Vendo is using it, that MCF connector has been huge for us. Shivali isn't kidding. It's literally a minute to a minute and a half, and these listings are syncing over. That is not something that you're going to get with another tool. So that has been game changing for us just to launch brands more quickly on TikTok Shop. And then as far as the influencer finder goes, specifically for TikTok Shop, it's a great product research tool too, right? Like to Shivali's point, she showed us end to end of going through and inviting those creators, finding top performing creators. But even so, if you're looking at top categories, you could really understand, okay, who are the top creators within this category and what sorts of content trends are they capitalizing on within the space, all through searching hashtags, keywords, etc. So that has also been particularly helpful there as well. And then on the list, Shivali, I just want to get your take on how you're creating those lists strategically, because from our standpoint, we found it very helpful to, for example, create VIP lists of affiliates where we're offering higher commission rates or tiered incentives, or really categorizing these creators into certain buckets depending on their potential and how deep we're willing to invest with them. How else are you seeing brands, or have you yourself leveraged those lists?
I think it's really cool to identify your persona for your brands and for your products, meaning where does your customer really live, and go end to end with your customer persona. So that means what are the customer's interests? What are their pain points? What are all the potential niches? So is it a fitness influencer? Is it a stay-at-home mom? Is it a dancer? Is it, like identifying all the little personas and then creating designated tiered lists, as you said. So people that you might want to say, hey, these are the stay-at-home mom invites that you want to give free products to, or maybe the ones that you want to offer a higher commission for, or that you want to offer refundable samples for, that sort of thing, per persona. And then just auto filtering basically. So when you find somebody, you already have the preset filters, and you can do this really fast, right? Like ChatGPT is your friend, right? There's plenty of AI tools to help you do this. You can say, help me find all the potential customer personas. If you have keywords, if you have data that's related, you can input it into ChatGPT, say, give me all the personas that are possible where my customer might live, what their interests are, what their pain points are, what their pleasure island is what I like to call it, which is where is it that they're trying to go? What are they trying to solve with this product? And then identify all those personas. Once you identify those, say, hey, give me really short 100 character, or like however many characters that you can, that you're happy with, and give me a invite message, and then you can tweak it from there. I'm not saying run with that because sometimes they're not that great, but it is a really good starting point. It's a great way to do a lot of work really, really fast. And then once you've invited those or created those invites, right, then you can just input in all those filters, or not the filters, but the filtered down influencers.
Awesome. And yes, the point you made earlier around follower count is 100% important. I want to highlight that more because especially if you're a brand in cold start on the platform, you are not going to even be able to reach out to creators with higher follower counts. So it's very important that you're narrowing down these filters within Influencer Finder to understand higher engagement rates, GMV patterns, etc., and getting very specific with the personas, to Shivali's point, as well as adjacent categories. I think oftentimes people are always trying to find what creators are working well for my direct competitor, and that's great and that could work. However, it's important that you're also looking at adjacent categories because you will probably have a strong overlap in terms of the demographic, the ICP of those adjacent categories as well. So there's a lot there, and you don't just have to filter for your specific category. Shivali, a question we got is what plan do you have to have in Helium 10 to get access to these affiliate tools?
A diamond. So for
Diamond.
anything that's related to Influencer Finder or TikTok Shop tools, you will need a diamond plan. But what's really cool is we have a 7-day free trial as well. So you can go in, test it out for yourself, and see if you like it. And in the meantime, you get access to all the cool data that we're seeing. So I would really encourage you guys to take advantage of it. I believe you guys also have your own links that you'll be providing in the chat. So make sure you guys look out for that. So Delaney or Jacqueline or somebody on this call will post. But yeah, I do think it's worth it because it's a really small investment into something that can pay many, many, many dividends.
Absolutely, yes. Shivali alluded to it. We do have an exclusive link with Helium 10. Thank you, Helium 10. Through October 7th, if you use the link in the chat, you will get 35% off for 6 months using the code SEP 2025 35 off. So all those details will be in the chat below. But take advantage of that, guys, because there's a lot here. Perfect. Well, let's shift
I
gears. Oh yeah, go ahead, Shivali.
Yeah, I did want to make sure we also showcase the influencer side of tools as well.
Yes,
So maybe I can just go back to a
let's do
brief screen share, and this component is really gonna be for those of you who are Amazon buyers, which is literally everybody on this call, I think.
it. Hopefully.
Um, yeah, if you're not, I commend you, and I also ask, what are you doing? But let's get into it. So the Amazon influencer side of things, just to explain briefly again, is when you are purchasing any sort of product, you also have the option to make some money by referring that product. So, the same way that, let's say, I found a really cool product, for whatever reason, Delaney didn't have an iPhone, and I found this iPhone on Amazon, and I was like, oh my gosh, Delaney, this iPhone case is amazing, and I think you should get it. And then Delaney goes and purchases it. It's cool. That's the way that stuff works in the world. But at the same time, if I created a video and I posted it on the internet and now Delaney sees the video and purchases it, I can now make some money back. Okay. Now, for a case, it might be a small commission, but it's more money than I had before, right? And these sort of things add up. So I was actually running a case study earlier this year where I would only spend 1 hour a day max, like 1 hour a day, every single day, just shooting some content for things I had around my house that I'd purchased. And what's really cool about Amazon influencers is you don't even need to purchase the product on Amazon, meaning that even though I made a deal about you guys buying on Amazon and not, you actually don't need to purchase all the products that you're promoting on Amazon from Amazon itself, because if you download the Amazon app, right? So let me see if I can show it to you. But if you download the Amazon app and you go into the search bar, let's see. So this is the search bar right here, right? So right here, you're gonna have a little camera style icon, and that's Lens AI, okay? So when you click that and you scan a product, it's actually going to pull up all the different listings that are related to that. And now those are the products that you can go in and tag and make some money on by creating a short video. And so when I did this, just for, I think it was like, I posted 20 videos. And of those 20 videos, I was able to make 140 bucks. Okay. So just 1 hour a day, that's a really nice bougie meal. It's multiple meals, it's all your groceries for a while, right? So just a little bit of money. And that's just like a fun side hustle that you guys can do, or that you can even put your kids up to if you have kids. All right. So a really interesting way to make some money for products that you already have. And what's even better is it's reoccurring. So once you're up and listed, you might make money from that for quite some time. Okay. So that's the Amazon influencer side of things. Now, what happens if you've purchased products and you're kind of curious about how that product is doing? Well, let's go into orders. Okay. So this is one of my accounts where I've purchased a waist trainer. All right. Now I can go into my Chrome extension, toggle over to influencer, and you'll see that the metrics actually change. Okay. So now all of a sudden I have access to a purchase history scanner. So this is not my Prime account. Actually, this is my Seller Central account, which is why you're seeing this. There's not very many purchases being made, but on my other account, I have like 400 purchases. I am, yeah, going crazy with it. But this is also where I do all of my business side of stuff. So I have all my Amazon influencer videos in this account. And none of those yet have this specific waist trainer, but I will show you my account. So this is my storefront, right? And so these products here are the ones that I generated the 140 with, which I haven't made content in a while on here. But if you go in and you're clicking manage content, which I actually already have open, this will show you your video placements at the very, very top, okay? So let's see if we can refresh that. I think it's just because it's been loading for a bit. But it'll show you where, of all these videos, how many of them are actually getting indexed at the top carousel and how many are at the bottom, as well as what the average view duration, average percentage viewed. So this is the sort of thing that you see inside of your Creator Hub. Okay. And like I said before, for your orders, it'll show you how many orders you placed in the past 3 months. If you're doing it on the same account, which I recommend you doing, I actually made the mistake. I just happened to do it all on my, my business account as opposed to my actual account, which I recommend doing. So then you can actually see of your orders, how many of them have you created videos for? How many have you not? Some other things you can do with the Amazon Influencer Finder is if I were just typing in coffin shell, let's do protein powder actually for kicks. When I type in protein powder, this is a pretty aggressive market. When I click the Chrome extension, I can also click X-ray. And now I'd be able to see how many influencers are creating videos for these, how many are showing up at the top carousel. So you have 5 showing up in the top carousel, 15 influencer videos, 10 are in the bottom carousel, how much commission they're making. Now, 92 cents might not seem like a lot, but remember that this varies. On-site commission is going to refer to anybody that's just naturally on the Amazon platform and your video listing has indexed into the product listing, right? Your video, excuse me, what am I even saying? Your video has indexed into the product listing, right? And that's going to be your on-site commission. So the people that are already on site that are looking at your video and then purchasing, that is where you're receiving commission. So say there's 4 videos, you might be curious, well, how do I, how am I going to make money if there's 4 other videos? Well, the person that is viewed last is the one that captures the commission. So say that Jacqueline and Delaney both had made videos. I've also made a video. Somebody goes on that on that listing and says, hey, I want to purchase this product. They watch Jacqueline's video, then Delaney's video, and then my video. I make the commission if they've purchased right after watching my video. Okay. So that is how on-site commission works. Off-site commission, you might have an associates link or an influencer link that you are going out and you're putting into your bio, maybe inside of Instagram or something like that. Well, you can get off-site commission for that, which is going to be a little bit higher. Now, what's really cool is this means if I'm searching for a sauna, right, and I know I'm going to build an influencer video on it later, I can go into Blackbox, toggle over to influencers, and say, hey, I'm looking for a sauna, okay? And then say, I want to find the ones where maybe there's a max of 5 videos for influencers, or I can even segment it out into upper or lower carousel. And say that I want to find the ones that have a weighted dynamic score of minimum 60 maybe. This is just going to be your dynamic weighted rating that helps you assess a product's potential for influencer content and earnings. It takes a look at stuff like your parent level revenue. So maybe I want to find the ones that, hey, they've actually generated a minimum of 4,000 in revenue in the last month. So these are products that are already moving. They already have traffic, right? Meaning if they don't have that many influencer videos, but they have a good, decent amount of revenue, right? Then I might be able to purchase this product, create an influencer video, and actually make quite a bit of money back. So check this out. This is a 3-person infrared sauna. You guys know these are going to be expensive. $2,399, which is why there's not maybe as many influencer videos. And again, this is just a scenario I'm showcasing to you because I've been interested in buying a sauna, not because that you have to find the ones that are really expensive to make money back. You can literally do this, as you saw even with my storefront. I did this with a mini Vaseline thing. Okay, this is probably a couple dollars, if that. Right? You have all your makeup products. If you're a woman who has makeup products, you know that you got plenty of products in the arsenal, just makeup alone, right? And so what's really cool is you can even divvy this down. I've attached multiple products here for one video. So you have your eyebrow pomade, your eyebrow stuff, your brush, right? Or if you're a tech girly like I am, you've got your your iPhone thing, I just want you to think, the reason I'm showing this to you is because you have products all around your house. I don't want you to think about it that, yes, even though Helium 10 shows you the purchase history scanner, it's not stuff that's limited to what's around your house. You can go bother your neighbors about it. Don't do that. But you can bother literally your friends about it. You can go and find stuff that you didn't purchase on Amazon, scan it with the app like I showed you, create a video. And then alternatively, if you know you want to buy something, also go find the listings that actually might give you profits back. Check this out. Okay. The more expensive stuff, like this outdoor 2-person sauna is $53 if I make on-site commission and $107 if I make off-site commission. Okay. Again, a product that I was already going to buy, but now I can make money on it. I'm not about to spend $4,000. So this is a prime example of edit filters, go back and say, you know what, there's a price right here. So I can say, I don't want to find anything that's above $1,700 maybe for a sauna. Click apply. And there you have it. This is 245 items. Let's see if we can get it even cheaper. Maybe I want to spend like 1,300 max for a sauna. Maybe this is a 1-person sauna. I know that's the best. It's okay. That's all you need. You can rotate in and out. Here we go. Okay, so this I would be willing to maybe purchase because you have a 800-watt sauna. Maybe I want to make sure that the radiation is safe, that everything about this is up my alley. But then they have 4 reviews, 5 stars, and check this out. I don't really see any bottom carousel. Yeah, check this out. No influencer videos whatsoever, but they are generating some sales in the last 30 days. This is 3. Guys, I've gone in and found products when I'm trying to purchase that have thousands, like 50K plus every month. And what you're doing is you're going in and trying to find listings that don't have that many influencer videos. So it's just a really low barrier to entry. You can go in, make money on products you've already bought that are already owned by you around your house, and make money on products that you plan to buy anyways in the future for things that you're already probably doing, which is referring them to your friends, referring them to other people because you really believe in them.
Absolutely. Number one idea there is to turn your affiliates into, or turn your buyers into affiliates. So
Yeah.
100% there, Shirley. That was awesome to see. We're going to connect with you in a month to make sure you bought your sauna, because now you've
Yeah.
fascinated everyone on what type of sauna to buy. So that's awesome. Thank you. Cool. Well, we will close the last 9 minutes here with questions. Jackie, I want to turn one of the questions in the chat over to you, specifically around nurturing relationships with affiliates. Can you talk a little bit about what is the value of nurturing these relationships after you have found these affiliates, you've invited them into these plans, and then on top of that, is there benefit to offering them additional incentives outside of commission rate, and what could those incentives look like?
Yeah, so I think with affiliate marketing, it's really about relationship building, even with influencers as well. Once you get those influencers, affiliates within the program, you don't want to just never talk to them again, right? So a big thing that we do on my team is nurture those relationships. We want to stay in constant communication with them. We, are sending them out different types of tools that they can use to optimize their posts and their videos. So if they need products, we can send them a product sample. We also work with them to put together an asset bank. So let's say they have a blog or a website. They don't necessarily need a product, but they just need, some logos or some imagery. We want to set them up to give them that asset bank. And then we also, send out different types of newsletters. So with different types of tentpole events coming up, like Prime Big Deals Day, we'll be promoting not only on the brand side of what the promotions and deals look like, but also we want to give them some tips on how to optimize their videos, what kinds of content we see performing. So that way, if they do want to create those shoppable types of videos, they know just some more information on that. So we do really try to nurture those relationships, continue the conversation, make sure that if they do have any questions, that they feel comfortable coming to us, because that's what we're here for. We want to really support all of our affiliates within the program. And as far as incentives go, so we set our affiliates up with just a standard commission rate. Depending on the different categories, sometimes we set our commissions, 20 to sometimes even 40%, just depending on, how early the brand is in their affiliate program as well. So once we see some types of performance coming in, we see what types of affiliates are performing the best, we want to start incentivizing them to sell even more. So some things that we've seen work really well for us is just an extra bonus. So, if our average order value is about $50, maybe we want to give them an extra $5 for every product that they sell. And we've been seeing a lot of great success with that. And then also we do see more incentives as far as sending them more product samples or referral bonuses as well. So maybe they're signing their friends up, and then that way we can not only grow the program, but they're also getting a bonus for referring some of their friends.
Absolutely. No, that's a great point there. Shivali, over to you. I want to ask you specifically about AI creators. From your standpoint, being a creator yourself and just seeing the influx of AI produced creative and UGC on the platform, where do you think that's heading? And what are your overall thoughts on AI creators over human creators?
I will say I have heard and seen a lot of impressive AI content that's generating a lot of money. And this is just in the last 2 years where AI has kind of come into our front lens, where there's been incredible changes. Before, you used to have six fingers if you're trying to generate a person, and now in just 2 years' time, you have really advanced AI creatives. And so I do think there's going to be people who learn how to automate that really, really fast. So you can go in and maybe scrape TikTok or scrape any sort of back end and automate the AI creation process for your products. I think as a seller, that's really interesting because you can get ahead of that if you're studying it now. And obviously, Helium 10 and Vendo, I think, are two companies that do their absolute best to stay at the forefront of these changing shifts. And so I'm sure that we'll have our own things that we come out with to make sure that everybody stays ahead. But at the same time, as influencers and as a creator, as you asked, I think it's going to force us to try to be more creative. There are certain things that AI cannot duplicate. And so it'll be even more important to be creating, stuff that's really high quality, that's actually unbuildable in some ways, which I think is, in some ways, if you gamify the system, fun. And at the same time, it means that you probably should learn how to use AI well as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, it almost seems like there's definitely no avoiding it at this
Yeah.
point. To Shivali's point, we need to be including this in our workflows. We both are Helium 10 and Vendo. It is an
Yes.
integral part of our processes, as you've already seen. And as we'll continue to see with creators, I think what's happening in China is always a good indicator of what will soon come in the US. I
Yes.
know there was an entrepreneur out there who raked in over $7.5 million after using a digital avatar, which was a few million higher than when he hosted the live himself weeks earlier. So these digital avatars, to Chevalier's point, are proving to be effective too.
I've been consuming so much content lately just to figure out how to produce more than I consume. And I've seen quite a few creators making literally 300K in commissions on AI avatars. So you can take it one of two ways, right? You can be terrified that it's happening and you don't know what that's going to mean for you as a creator or as a seller. But alternatively, it means that you can build and push out even more content faster if you learn how to leverage it. And so I think if anything, is better to always have the optimistic perspective, right? And make use of all the resources that are given to you. Be resourceful and it'll pay off.
Absolutely, 100%. Those who are implementing it now are those who will win. Those who are scared of it now are going to fall behind, and they will learn that very quickly. They already are. So just to wrap up everything that we've covered today, as it has been a lot. First off, thank you, Shivali, for joining us as our featured guest here, and Jackie, always a pleasure when we get to come on as well. But just a few bullet points. If you guys have any questions, again, you could reach out to us on LinkedIn or via email. But affiliate marketing is no longer an afterthought, right? It's an integral part in scaling quickly and sustainably on both Amazon and TikTok Shop. And with the right strategies and tools, you can unlock hidden growth opportunities and accelerate revenue generation without relying solely on paid ads, right? A lot of you are focused specifically on your customer acquisition costs from paid ads. You can often see efficiencies in your customer acquisition costs with affiliate. So thanks to Helium 10, we now have a new way to discover, filter, and track some of these top tier affiliates easier than ever, and also launch TikTok Shop easier than ever too. So if you're not on TikTok Shop, guys, there's a lot of great tools, including and most notably Helium 10, to help you understand what are some of the key benefits. Where do I start in terms of creators? Would definitely recommend checking that out ASAP and using the link that was dropped below. And then finally, as Jackie talked about, it's not just about finding those creators, it's about nurturing longer term relationships with them to ensure they're not just getting sales for you now, but they're building your brand and leading to sustainable growth long term. So thank you again, Shivali and Jackie, for joining me today. Shivali, we'll connect with you soon to get some pictures of your sauna. But we are looking forward to it, and we'll catch you next week on the Vendo Velocity podcast as well. Thank you, everyone.